Hey everyone, Sarah Brown-Wessling here from the Council of Chief State School Officers National Teacher of the Year program. And I'm excited to introduce Voices from the Classroom, the State Teacher of the Year podcast. CCSSO's National Teacher of the Year program provides a platform for exceptional educators to elevate issues that affect teachers and their students, to expand their leadership roles, and to inform policy and practice. I was named National Teacher of the Year in 2010, and since then, I've been committed to sharing the stories and elevating the voices of State Teachers of the Year. It is my hope that this podcast will give you insight into the incredible work they do. As we are very much aware, the 2020-2021 school year is so different from anything we could have imagined. Not only do the physical classroom environments look different for students, they feel different as educators navigate responding to two radical changes in our society: the COVID-19 pandemic and the heightened awareness of institutionalized racism. Through this first series, My First Lesson of the Year, we hope to capture the true essence of the return to school from an educator's perspective. In these episodes, the 2020 State Teachers of the Year will walk us through the ways they are approaching instruction and maintaining a connection with their students in this new environment. You can join the conversation on social media too, by using the hashtag NTOY20 or by visiting us online at ntoy.org. That's NTOY.org. Let's begin. This is Sarah Brown-Wessling. Welcome, Hilary Wimmer, and thank you for joining me for this conversation today. So let's jump right in. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you for having me here, Sarah. My name is Hilary Wimmer, and I am the 2020 Colorado Teacher of the Year. I teach in beautiful Westminster, Colorado, and I'm fortunate enough to be teaching in the High School of Business. So our students actually take classes in business, marketing, finance, economics. So we really try to provide them with a well-rounded project-based business education before they leave high school.
That's really cool. I just want to hear more about that too. But
I have to say, I have the best job in the world.
That is a privilege to get to say, isn't it?
It is.
So I'm really curious about one of your first lessons this year. Can you just kind of describe what that looked like, what it was like for you, what it was like for your students, what you did?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I never thought that I would live through a pandemic, and I also never thought I would teach through a pandemic.
Right.
So, one of the things that I'll typically do with our freshmen that are just entering the program is really we teach the importance of introducing yourself, making eye contact, and delivering a proper business introduction. And as you can imagine, it's really uncomfortable for freshmen to do something like that in person. I thought, well, this will be easier when we do this online. And when we started practicing and rehearsing, well, it gets really, really foreign online. And so basically what I had to do is reverse my thinking and try to come at the lesson from a perspective of how can I make this real for kids? How can I make them heavily invested and try to make them use the technology and equipment, but also get them mentored into the proper ways to do business introductions. And as silly as it sounds, it's a fundamental skill, right, that students know. And so I'm fortunate enough to be teaching a great year of third-year business kids at the same time. So we actually used Flipgrid technology, and the freshmen got to upload their introductions. And my management students who are in their third year were their managers, and they actually treated them as employees and went through and watched their videos of how they would introduce themselves to a customer. And this is all by accident, but it ended up being one of my greatest mistakes. I accidentally turned off the place where they could type feedback, and they had to video the manager's feedback. And so my third year kids, when I went in, I almost started crying because they spent up to 2 minutes providing really direct, well thought out feedback, complimenting the kids and telling them how they could grow as students. And so if you can imagine being a freshman that films yourself on a video, you do an introduction, and suddenly you have, up to 10 upperclassmen coming and saying, hey, here's what you did really well. Here's what I want you to work at. You're doing a great job. I mean, I felt like it was just a really powerful moment to connect kids in a time where they're uncertain and they need others to reach out to. So
that is so cool. I actually kind of have like little goosebumps because I know what that feels like when your students just amaze you in these like beautiful, unpredictable ways. That's so cool. And what a tribute to, the work that you've been doing with them for 3 years too.
Right. I know I almost started crying and, it was a really, really amazing moment. And then I had to ask my freshmen, did that help you? Was it overwhelming? And I surveyed them, and all of the freshmen said, absolutely not. This helped me grow. I'm really grateful for everything they said, and this is going to help me. So, we look at virtual as how can we pull opportunities out of this rather than being upset or being forced to do something. I really feel like you're going to see that trend in businesses in the future. And so how do we train our kids to be ready for that virtual workplace?
Absolutely. I love the authenticity of this. And then we probably should make sure we clarify that you've started completely online as a school. Is that right?
Yes. We were supposed to start in hybrid, and then we actually had our numbers increasing here in Colorado. And so the district made the decision with the Board of Education to go remote. And that, in hindsight, was a great decision because it's helped us get adapted to the remote learning piece. Yeah. We're actually scheduled now to go back in hybrid. So they'll get to meet students in person minus the handshakes. And
right. Exactly. That's so neat. So what did you learn from doing this?
Well, actually, that was the one moment where I had an aha, because as most educators are feeling right now, we all want to crawl in the fetal position and never come out of it, because this is really overwhelming no matter what grade level you teach or subject you teach. But it really helped me understand that our students are a very significant part of the process. And I think that many educators go in thinking, e-learning, okay, online learning, my students are going to be detached. They're not going to want to be involved. And that's just a great reminder that they do want to be involved. So you have to empower them, ask them to step up, and then give them the opportunity, because when you do, you're actually going to be really surprised at how well they do and embrace those challenges. So make sure you're challenging your kiddos in those ways.
That is the perfect way to put a bow on this conversation. I absolutely agree with you. They can always do so much more than we think that they can. So turning it over to them is everything. Well, Hilary, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, for being so transparent about your experiences this year so far. We are really looking forward to sharing these insights. And I just know it's going to inspire so many people who are working through this the same way that you are.
Yes, and thanks to all of the teachers out there. I promise you, we will get through this. You can do it. You're actually going to be so much stronger and better when we come out on the other side. So, keep those smiles on and keep doing everything that you're doing. Teachers are doing amazing things throughout the U.S., and I'm really excited about everything that we're going to see change in education as a result.
Wonderful. Thanks, Hilary.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the first series of Voices from the Classroom, the State Teacher of the Year podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Council of Chief State School Officers National Teacher of the Year program. It's our honor to elevate the voices of educators across the country and provide them with a national platform to amplify their message and advocate on behalf of their students and colleagues. Please share these lessons on social media with the hashtag NTOY20. That's hashtag NTOY20. Let's keep the conversation going.